Another week, another European leader in London as Sir Keir Starmer's continental charm offensive soldiers on. Today it's the turn of the new German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, welcome to Downing Street to sign what's been billed as the biggest UK-German treaty since 1945. Warm handshakes and a show of solidarity, Merz is seeking dependable allies as much as his British counterpart. Migration pressures and Ukraine's war with Russia have helped bring continental powers back into Britain's post-Brexit arms.
I see it very much as evidence of the closeness of our relationship as it stands today, the strength of our values, the strength of our joint approach.
Like Starmer's agreement with French President Macron a week ago, today's friendship treaty takes in trade and defence. Call it growth through bombs. But it's the deal over migration that will likely garner most of the headlines. The UK government says that Germany has committed to a law by the end of this year which would prosecute smugglers using German warehouses to store inflatable boats which were destined to transport migrants across the English Channel. On defence, the treaty also commits both sides to mutual assistance if either is attacked, a protection already enjoyed in theory as NATO members.
The UK and Germany side by side, delivering growth and security.
And with an unpredictable Trump in the White House, both countries appear to be seeking a more sure-footed friendship wherever they can find it.
This is, as Keir said, really an historic day.
To get a better sense of Germany's position, I sat down this morning with Foreign Minister Johann Wadepool. How ironic is it that Britain and Germany were developing their newfound friendship around rearmament?
No, it's not ironic. I think it's the sober reaction of the very security situation we're in to respective countries. We see the Russian aggression going on in Europe. We are faced with it and we have to encounter it.
I mean, part of this pact, if I understand correctly, is a kind of mutual defence agreement between Britain, France and Germany. Is this kind of defensive pact, is this clause in there a kind of safety measure just in case Donald Trump has forgotten his commitment to NATO's Article 5?
No, we absolutely trust the Article 5 commitment of everybody, and especially
including the US.
Of course, also the US. We have absolutely zero doubt that we stick together, that we stay together in the NATO frame. But in Europe, it's necessary, and it's an important step for us that Britain shows again that they are back in Europe in a way. And this engagement is very much welcome.
I just wonder what you make of the statement made by the Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, on the day that he was elected, I think, when he said that America is sliding into authoritarianism and that we in Europe, we in Germany should be careful. What do you make of that?
If I look to the MAGA movement in the Republican Party, this is something we not really understand and which is not orientated on the transatlantic relationship we know for decades now in Europe.
Do you fear it?
I wouldn't say we fear it, but we have to pay attention and we have to work on it. We have to be engaged on it. Friedrich Merz, of course, paid a very good visit to the Oval Office, which was successful for both sides. And
He didn't get Zelensky'd.
Yeah. No, not really. He appreciates that he has a strong chancellor in Europe who's ready to lead, and Germany is going into a leading position. You saw us being the first ones to be committed to the 5% goal.
Do you trust Trump on Ukraine?
We saw that after he had some conversations with our chancellor that he is taking over our position on Ukraine and seeing more clearly than in the past that Mr. Putin is not ready for negotiations. And we are preparing our 18th package on the European level. So if Putin doesn't come to the negotiation table, new sanctions will be imposed.
On Gaza, do you worry that you haven't been critical enough of your partner, Prime Minister Netanyahu, when you see the nightly television pictures of extraordinary civilian suffering inside the Gaza Strip?
Yes,
or indeed some of the stuff on the West Bank?
Germany has always the position to be the closest partner of Israel in the world because of our history and our responsibility for the state of Israel. But we do not shy away from seeing these humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza.
But precisely because of your historic role, isn't it incumbent on the German government, especially the German government, to say to Israel, what you are doing is possibly a war crime, definitely unacceptable in the eyes of the international community, international institutions, but also ultimately bad for the security of your own country?
Yeah, but I'm in a nearly daily contact and conversation with my Israeli counterpart Gideon Saar, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm also arguing with him, that the humanitarian situation is unbearable in the Gaza Strip.
But he's not listening to you, is he?
He is, and it is improving, not as quick as needed, but it is improving. If you look to the ground, more trucks are entering the Gaza Strip than the week before.
President Macron was here just recently on a state visit, and in one of his speeches, he more or less said, and I'm paraphrasing, Britain should not be so dependent on the United States, the so-called special relationship. Do you agree with President Macron?
I think Britons do know where their real friends are, and there are a lot of real friends in Europe, and as this pact shows, especially in Germany.
Foreign Minister Wadepoel, thank you very much indeed.
It was my pleasure.